Hey you guys, I am back with another video. I wanted to share a very urgent dream that I received early this morning. The dream basically started out where I was outside and I was noticing that there was a tall building to the left of me. And on this building were rows of airplanes. Each airplane was in formation. They were lined up across this building. And each airplane was spraying a chemical in the air that was causing the sky to be to become cloudy. It was very smoky in the heavens. And I remember I was just looking at this, and all of a sudden the plane stopped spraying this chemical. And I remember thinking to myself, or knowing in this dream, that whatever they were spraying, they were trying to hide something that they didn't want us to see. So when they stopped spraying the chemicals, I was able to fully see what was in the sky. What was shown to me was a very distorted moon. The moon looked like it was completely beat up. It did not look like a real moon. The moon was cut off in different areas. It was not a circular moon. It was very odd, the shape of it. And I remember inwardly, I said to myself, this is not a real moon. This is a fake moon. As soon as I said that, the moon dropped out of the sky. It completely went away. It was like it was thrown out into the distance and I could not see it anymore. As soon as that took place, I saw this huge reddish black planet appear. And it was massive. It literally took up the sky. And I can't recall if there was a fear that gripped me, but I just remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. And I grabbed my phone and I was trying to videotape what I was seeing, but I couldn't videotape it. My phone was not working. And so, as I'm watching this reddish black planet, I was looking through this planet and I saw what looked to be a silhouette of a shark. It was um it was just positioned in the sky. It was massive. It was a black silhouette of a shark. It was huge. And I grabbed my phone again and I tried to take a picture of this shark. And again, my phone would not allow me to take a picture. So I grabbed my phone again and I tried to call. I remember I was thinking to myself, I have to call Shannon Johnson. And I was dialing the number, but my phone would not work. So it ended up where I remember as I was watching, it was other things that was taking place in the heavens. I just can't remember. But it was a very strange sight that was taking place. And I remember I started quoting scriptures, but I don't remember what scriptures I was speaking. And I started praying in my prayer language. And it immediately took me to another scene where I was in this building and there were massive amounts of people sitting around, and the looks on their face, you could tell that they were in shock. There were a lot of people who were in a panic state because they couldn't believe what was taking place. And there was a coworker of mine who was also in this scene. In real life, this particular person is very she has such a hard exterior about her. She's very I guess you can say she's very strong minded. She doesn't it doesn't take anything to well, nothing rattles her cage, I guess I would say. She just has a very strong personality. And in this particular scene, she was crying. She was literally shaking. And I could tell just by the way people were responding, they were afraid. But interestingly, I wasn't afraid because it was like I knew. I knew what was going on. They didn't understand, but I knew what was going on. And I remember I began to say to the people, I know what is going on. The Lord has been giving me dreams about this. And I remember the people started looking at me like, what are you talking about? God has been giving you dreams about this. It then went to another scene where I remember seeing Obama, and he was standing with this other black guy. I knew in the dream it was like his side man. It was somebody who worked closely with him. And I just remember there was some type of meeting he was conducting. Uh, there wasn't a lot about this particular scene that I can remember, but I just remember also feeling like there was something that I was trying to do, but I was trying to make sure that Obama didn't catch me. And so it ended up where I was outside with a group of people, and there was a lady who was basically leading us. I don't really know what this was, but it was like we were in a group and she was the leader. And people were talking amongst themselves about what had just happened, the strange sightings that were taking place in the sky. And I remember telling them, I said, I know what this is. The Lord has been giving me dreams about this. I said, God has been having me warn people, but nobody's listening. Nobody is taking heed to what I'm saying. Nobody is paying attention. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And so the leader looked at me and said, so you're saying that God gave you dreams? And I said, yes, I know what is going on. And so, for whatever reason, I didn't want to speak in front of the whole group, so I asked her if we could go somewhere and talk in private. So we began to go into this building, which it looked like an office setting, and she found this area that I didn't really feel comfortable with because there was a lot of people and I didn't want to be distracted. So we went to another area of the office, and I sat down and I began to tell her, I said, God has been giving me dreams and visions about what is going on right now. And I said, and He's been giving me dreams for the past 10 years. As soon as I said that, I noticed that this woman's eyes began to twitch. And I knew something wasn't right. In my spirit, I knew that um, this wasn't really somebody I needed to talk to. Like I knew instantly that I needed to get away. That it was something that wasn't right about her spirit. And so I stood up and I was like, never mind. And when I said that, they grabbed my arm and I pulled away and I started running. Now, during this time when I was running, I was trying to remember where I just came from because I couldn't remember where I was before I wandered off with this particular person. But I was praying and I was asking God, please let me remember how to get back to where I was with the rest of the group. I finally was able to locate the rest of the group. And as soon as I made it to them, the person that I thought was the real woman ended up coming and she was standing right behind me, but she was standing next to the woman who was actually the leader. So I know this sounds confusing. Basically, there was two people that looked identical, but the one that I started to open up to, that wasn't the right one. It was a carbon copy of the woman that I originally started talking to. And as soon as I turned around, the one who was the carbon copy shifted back into who it really was, and it was actually the man who was that was working close to Obama. So I thought that was very creepy. But after that scene, I woke up. Now, there's a lot going on in this dream, but I'm going to tell you this. When I woke up, I was laying in bed and I was praying and I was asking the Lord, what is this? What are you telling me? I believe that what I was seeing being sprayed into the sky, into the heavens from these planes, was chemtrails. We know that there's been a lot of activity taking place within the past few years of a lot of chemtrails that's being sprayed in the heavens. And I was sitting there and I'm listening to this, and I could hear the Holy Spirit tell me, He said, what has been hidden is about to be revealed. What has been kept from you, what has been hidden is going to be made known. And I was like, wow, because when you look at the fact that in the dream, as soon as the plane stopped spraying the chemicals that was causing the sky to become cloudy, where you couldn't really see anything, it then became clear, and I was able to fully see what was taking place in the heavens. And what I saw was a very distorted moon. It looked fake. It was not a real moon. But this was a moon that was perceived to be real because of all of the stuff that was being sprayed in the sky. You couldn't really tell. But it was like everything that was in the sky that we couldn't physically see was now made known. And so then here it is that I have this dream where I see another shark, a shark that's in the heavens. And this was a massive picture of a shark. So, you guys, another thing that jumped out at me was as I was meditating on this dream, the Lord put into my spirit Luke 21, verse 36. And it says, bear with me, I'm finding it real quick. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to read that. Luke 21, verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Now, the last dream I shared with you all, the I would say the last couple of dreams I shared, I told you guys that there was an announcement that was made where it was stated that Obama said that the signs in the heavens are about to begin. And as soon as that was spoken to me, I ran to the window and I saw a dark shadow falling from the heavens, and it manifested as a shark. Here it is in this dream. The signs were in the sky. There were fearful sights in the sky. And Obama was in the midst in this dream. And also there was another shark, a black silhouette of a shark. And it was filling the sky. It was a huge picture of a black silhouette of a shark. I hope I'm making this clear to you guys. But you guys, I feel such an urgency with this. And it really shook me. And I wanted to share this dream as soon as possible this morning. And I tried on 3 different occasions while I was at work, but I had issues every time. So I literally had to wait till I got home. So, you guys, I'm letting you know, I just feel like this is an urgent warning. Um, the Lord clearly told me that what has been hidden is about to be revealed, is about to be made known. And I saw a very huge reddish black planet appear. It was like it was there all along. We just couldn't see it because of what was being sprayed in the air. But I'm telling you, you guys, the Lord is getting our attention, and I really wanted to pass this along to you guys because I truly believe that the Lord is speaking in this dream, and I wanted to share it with you all. So again, I had this dream this morning. It's March 7th. I find it very interesting that the Lord gives me very prophetic dreams on the 7th of the month. I don't know why it is, but He does. I notice I receive a lot of dreams um, on the 7th. So I just wanted to share this with you all. And let me know what you guys think. Please pray over this. But you guys, I just feel such an urgency in my spirit about this. Jesus is coming. The King is coming. I love you all. God bless you. Bye.